It's the 29th of October. I am still absolutely full of cold. However, baby seems to be back to normal now with her movements. I was woken up several times last night from very forceful kicks and she's not stopped all morning. She's come up a little bit. I haven't had as much pain so far today, touch wood. Hopefully that's a good sign and I'll have a little bit of peace for a while. I just need to get rid of this ghastly cold now. But it's making me very grateful that I've got it now and not later on, like during labour. Oh my goodness, I feel so sorry for any mum who's ever had to give birth with a terrible cold. I can't imagine having to try and breathe through labour with a blocked nose and a sore throat. So my heart goes out to anyone who's been ill whilst in labour. Tell you about a miracle worker I've just discovered. So I've been waking up repeatedly throughout the night for weeks, if not months now. One thing that I've been getting is really sore joints. Someone recommended to me magnesium spray. So I bought this and I spray it, 2 sprays on each knee, and then I spray it down my back here. You just massage it in. I didn't wake up once last night. I've just slept through 8 hours straight, and yesterday when I used it, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's a real game changer. I have no pain. I wake up, my knees are fine. I love it. This stuff. Where has it been? Hiya, I'm just looking for a little bit of advice. So I have this lump that comes up at the top of my belly and I usually feel it every day. Sometimes it goes down, but other times it's really protruding and it's always in the same place. They mentioned in the past that I've had a fibroid on my womb, but they never said where, and I'm wondering whether it's that.
Are you 20-week scan with the comments on your fibroid?
I'm sure they said it was still measuring about 2 centimetres. Feels bigger than that now, that's why I'm calling really, because it doesn't feel like it's 2 centimetres.
Normally, if you have a fibroid that's visible from the outside, it won't come and go. It will stay in the same place and it will be there all the time.
It's in exactly the same place every time. Now baby has been breech, baby has been transverse. If I press...
Is it there all the time?
I'm trying to figure it out because it protrudes sometimes more so than other times, but if I press in, I can still feel something.
It's really hard to say. With it being such a small fibroid at the 20-week scan, it would be unlikely that it has grown rapidly. Now I have seen women with visible fibroids, but you're talking they're about 20 centimetres in diameter. If it was a visible fibroid, it wouldn't come and go. You wouldn't be able to press it because they're quite firm.
Well, yeah, I can't press it in. It doesn't move if I press it at all. It stays there. It's just like sometimes it's up more, like maybe if I'm slouching.
From what you've said, it sounds like it could well be a separation of your abdominal muscles.
Oh, okay.
You can have a protruding bit of your muscle. Now that does come and go. Have you got any pain with it?
No, I don't think so, but then I don't know if it feels tender when I press in the area, but then I don't know if that's from like baby kicking and things moving. It's hard to know whether it's that or something else.
You can call your community midwife and reschedule your appointment and bring it forward. If it is the diastasis recti muscle separated, we'd get you some physio and a tubey grip bandage to bring your muscles together, and it's really important after birth because it can become worse. Or you go and see your GP just so someone can have a look to see what this is.
Thank you for your help. Interestingly, the lump hasn't been all that obvious this morning. I've only really been able to feel it if I press right in. It hasn't been protruding, but I just had a Braxton Hicks and immediately it protruded again, and now I can feel it a lot more. So what the hospital said about it likely being my abdominal muscles makes sense, because with the Braxton Hicks everything contracts and cramps, which I presume uses your abdominal muscles, and now the lump is back. So I think that's what it is. I'm going to keep a note of all the Braxton Hicks I have been having, which I've been doing anyway because I get so many. I've been keeping a tracked timer thing, so I had 19 yesterday, but it's now 2:30 and this is the first one I've had today, but I have noticed the lump come out as a result of it, so I'm just going to keep an eye on it, make notes as and when I need to, and then I can relay it back to the midwife when I see her, so hopefully it's all okay. Baby's movements have stayed a bit subdued the past few days. They definitely feel different. Last night she got really active again and I kept waking up in the night, but the last few days she's been really subdued and a bit slower. She's still moving though, so I don't think there's anything to worry about. But I said to Mason she'll be going a little date night. So we're going on a date night tonight to treat ourselves, because we've got a week and a half before I'm officially full term. I mean, my due date isn't for like another 4.5 weeks, but we figured we'll have a date night tonight and make the most of whatever time we have left.
Yeah, it'd be nice. We're packing the hospital bag this weekend, so we're ready to go like any time.
Date night, then birth prep.
Should just get key.
Yeah. So round. I've just discovered something else that I can no longer do whilst pregnant. I just had a sore toe and I asked Mason if he could look at it, and I realised I can't lift my leg. I can get to I can get to there and then I literally start to shake. I can't literally lift my legs. I don't even know if I can. How can I? Oh, not too bad. So this lady makes 3D prints of pregnant bellies, and I just had my session with her. So she went round me with a 3D scanner and maps out your entire body all the way round and then turns it into a little sculpture. So I've now got to wait for the sculpture to be built. So I'm really looking forward to having a little keepsake of my little pregnancy bump. Baby was so wriggly the whole time. She's like, so I'm going to need you to keep still, and I was like, I'll keep still, I'm not sure about this one. Luckily it didn't impact it. I think she was wriggling inside mostly, and she's been quite high up today, so she has not been painful. However, she's been spinning a lot today. I had a really lovely experience earlier where she was kind of on the side and I felt her back, and then down the side here I could feel her leg like perfectly clear. I was like, Mason, quick, come quick. I probably panicked and probably thought I was in labour, but I was like, you can feel her leg, come and feel her leg, because we've had this little obsession with her femurs since we went to our very first scan. I don't know why, we've just been obsessed with the thought of her little legs and her little femurs ever since. And I got to feel her femur for the first time today, like full leg, and he felt it and he was like, oh my god. So that was such a lovely moment. Feeling good. So my lump has come back up again. I don't think it is baby. I still can't push it though. Also, check out how swollen my feet are. Wow. It's 5:30 a.m. Baby's being extremely painful.
I just managed the supermarket shop without difficulty for the first time in a long time. Baby had a crazy morning this morning, waking me up, and now I haven't felt her at all day until just now, and she's just started to slowly stir now. We're gonna go to IKEA and push the boundaries of whether I can manage walking all the way around the shop without any pain.
So we mostly managed IKEA. Had a few moments where it got really painful. I just had to stop. But now she's gone really painful. And going really low. I had a breakdown in the car on the way. Ow! And I feel better now for crying, but the pain is unreal. She's wriggling so much. I don't even know if you can see. She's all over my belly, but it's the bit right down here that you can't see that hurts the most. And this is where her head is. Oh, it's so painful. I'm so done. been like an hour. She is just not settling.
Going home outfit for baby, blankets, mittens, socks, car seat, nappies and wipes. I'll get some nappies. I don't know how many more we need.
I don't.
Well, there's 5 there. We got some socks for her. Blankets to wrap her in.
Blankets. But there, maybe that as well. Oh, hat. Oh.
So we've got your stuff, we've got baby stuff. Just snacks and drinks, books. Well, mostly there, right? Pyjamas there.
I don't think there's anything else.
Any nursing friendly tops especially.
I haven't got any breastfeeding tops.
Socks and slippers, nursing bra and pads.
Breast pads are in there.
And then for me, change of clothes, snacks. That's about it really.
Okay.
Hospital bag ready.
Baby still isn't settling. We went for a walk around the garden. Still nothing, so we're running a bath. I'm just in so much pain. Baby's activeness started kicking off my Braxton Hicks. They were coming every 20 minutes. As soon as I got in the bath, they ramped up and they started off 9 minutes apart, then went to 8, then ended up at 3 minutes. They are slowing back down now. They seem to be coming every 8 minutes again. I'm like, do I phone triage? Because they hurt. But baby, after my bath, seems to have calmed down a bit. So I'm hoping that that means my Braxton Hicks will start to calm down too. I'll see how I get on over the next hour, and then if they're still coming every few minutes, I may phone triage again. So it's now nearly 11 PM. My Braxton Hicks are coming every 20 minutes still. Baby's started getting really active and low again. I haven't called triage because I feel like they're just Braxton Hicks. They don't feel like anything worse. But I've probably had near 40 today. So I'm gonna see how I get on through the night. I think I might have just found my first stretch mark, or my first hint of a stretch mark. I've been moisturising religiously, and there's one bit where maybe I've missed because it's been more around the side. So I'm gonna keep moisturising and hopefully it doesn't get any bigger because it's very, very, very teeny. A very, very tiny one. If it can stay like that, I'll be absolutely over the moon, because then I'll be like, oh, I've got a little souvenir scar of carrying my baby. But then, you know, everything else is like, still. You know, I feel like it's a shame, because I wish I'd enjoyed this pregnancy a lot more than I have. And it's sad, because it's going to be over soon. And I see so many people saying how much they love pregnancy and how much they miss being pregnant. And I wish I had that. The pain I've had's just completely ruined that. But tonight I feel like even though I've had the pain, I look at it and I just think, one day I won't look like this anymore. I won't feel those kicks, and it's kind of sad. Well, these babies settled now, so I can still enjoy this dream for another 10 minutes until she starts hurting me again. I'm officially 36 weeks today. So whilst technically I've still got 4 weeks till my due date, technically in 1 week's time I will be considered full term. So in my head I'm like, I've got 1 week left, I've got 1 week left. I'm on my raspberry leaf tea twice a day now. Last night she was so crazy active again and I was in a lot of pain again. Her movements are still not right. Or well, maybe they are right, but they're still different. Previously she used to be just crazy active all day. But since maybe the past week, she has bursts of activity, bursts of stillness. She's never had moments of stillness. Now I thought it was my cold that had brought it on because it started happening around the time that I got sick. But now that I'm feeling better, baby's movements are still the same. So she still goes completely silent and I'm like, like for hours, and then suddenly she comes awake again and makes things really painful again. So I guess this is the new norm, but it's just weird to have a new norm this late on. But yeah, feeling much better now that I am having these stillness periods, because it gives me some peace and it brings my mood back up because it's a pause from the pain. So I can deal with the pain when it's in bursts. I think a few weeks ago it got to the point where my pain was just constant and that was really unbearable. So I'm trying not to complain about the fact that her pattern has changed and that she's now still for a few hours. I'm trying to see that as a good thing, and I'm sure it is. I'm sure there's nothing to worry about. just embracing whatever baby throws at us. Cheers. This child. So I think my lump is baby because she was just wiggling loads and it all came out like this hugely and then went back in. So I think it's part of baby, but I'm not sure what part. But she's hurting me tonight. Just keep telling myself I've got 1 more week left. I know it might be 4 weeks, but if I tell myself I've got 1, I can get through it. 1 more week. Oh man, I am so done with this pregnancy. When she's in the active phase, she still moves so much and causes me so much pain. I'm so done with the pain. But then even when she's calm, sometimes she still sits really low and I can't bend or I can't move a certain way. I realised before I kind of got thinking about how much I just feel like I'm deteriorating because I was such an active person before. I'd go swimming, I would be walking, I'd be doing lots of things, and now for the past few weeks I've been in so much pain. I can't even do the supermarket shop without crying. I've been posting some of my book orders recently and there's a post box just maybe 5 houses down, and walking to the post box is enough of a challenge in itself because sometimes if baby goes low, it's so painful to walk. I never thought I'd get to the point where I've gone from climbing Kilimanjaro to struggling to walk even just 5 houses away from my own home. I feel utterly useless. I want to feel like me again. I'm sick of being in pain, I'm sick of not being able to do anything. And then the nurses are telling me I need to be less active because of how irritable and sensitive my uterus is. But I find it so hard to not do anything. And even now that I physically cannot do anything and I have to sit on my arse all day, I'm still getting all my Braxton Hicks, I'm still in pain. And I think with this in mind, I've heard a lot of people talk about how they feel a loss of identity when they become mums for the first time. And I feel like I've been struggling a little bit with that already because I've pointed it out kind of really early on in my journey that I haven't felt desirable, I haven't felt myself, I haven't really felt happy for most of it. And when you imagine yourself as a parent and what kind of parent you're going to be, you have this idea, and when the reality doesn't match up to that idea, it makes it feel like you've failed, and it feels lonely in another sense because it's not like I don't know that I have friends. I know I've got my mum, I've got family, I've got friends if I need them. I just feel lonely in myself because I don't feel like I have the buoyance and the vibrance that I used to have. I feel like I'm just a pregnant person, and it doesn't matter how many people approach me and say like, oh, you're doing really well, or I'm always here to talk. Like, I know that, I know I've got so many people that I can talk to, but I think I've just lost my identity already. I don't feel like me, and I don't know why. Oh my god. I think the constant pain probably doesn't help that either. My joint pain is getting a lot worse. I woke up a fair few times last night with my knees. It's like a very dull ache. It's not like a sharp pain. I don't know if it's all the extra weight that I'm carrying and the pressure that it's putting on my joints throughout the day, and then when I get in bed and I'm still, they're kind of like seizing up, because I think I've gained nearly 12 kilos in total now. Or it could even be like a hormone thing and all my ligaments are loosening, because our yoga teacher says this quite often, hence why so many people get pelvic pain, because all the ligaments around the pelvis have just gone soft to allow the pelvis to grow and flex for childbirth. So it could very well be that as well, but I keep trying my magnesium spray, but I feel like it's getting to the point now where it's outdoing the magnesium spray. As soon as I get up and I'm walking, it's loads better because I think I'm using the joints, I'm putting blood flow back into them, they're getting mobile, they're moving. Just want this to be over. So baby's been extremely quiet again today, so I've just phoned triage again and they've told me to come in for another reduced movements monitor. So they've hooked me up and little lady is now going nuts. I haven't felt her once all day.
Her heart rate actually just shot up from about 150 to 170.
Did it?
When she was moving, and then it's back to 140 now.
Apparently my blood pressure's high today.
That's your blood pressure.
I normally have really low blood pressure.
Slightly higher at the moment.
Oh, no. Oh my god. She's getting really aggressive now with her movements when they do come. We just got back from the hospital. They were happy with the monitoring, but because I have been in for monitoring within the last 3 weeks, they have to send me for a scan just to check everything's okay with baby and the blood flow and the placenta and everything else. So I've got to go back tomorrow, and they will also check out the lump that I've been getting too during the scan. So hopefully I'll get some answers. But baby's quieting down a little bit again now that I'm home. But at least she had a wiggle period and all looked okay and the heartbeat was okay again. So hopefully it's just a changing pattern. My lump is back. I don't know what it is. If it's baby or if it's muscle or stomach. I don't know. It doesn't react though when I press it, it's just solid. It's like a solid lump. Last night I ventured into a whole new realm of labour training. I've been half excited about and half dreading, and it is this thing just here. It's called an Aniball. Contrary to the name, it's got nothing to do with the anus area. The name is a bit off-putting. So it's basically like a, for want of a better word, balloon, and you insert it and blow it up, and it strengthens your pelvic floor in preparation for labour, and it is supposed to stop you tearing or having any kind of injury down there during labour. Everywhere I've looked online, the reviews for this are phenomenal, and it couldn't come more highly recommended. So I've been adamant that I want to use it, but it was very, very nerve-wracking using it for the first time last night. So I made Mason sit with me. He ran through my breathing exercises with me and helped me calm down, and he was like, do you want me to just leave you to it? Because you could probably just do this on your own. And I was like, I probably could do it on my own, but I'd feel better you being here because you're going to be my birth partner as well, so it feels right to have you with me on the training. And actually, like, once I was in the zone, it was fine. I thought it was going to be painful. It's not painful at all, and I think my perineal massages and all of my pelvic floor exercises that I've been doing have really come in handy actually. But you are supposed to use this now every day from 36 weeks, and you steadily, slowly increase the pressure. So that's what I'm gonna do. Hopefully it all helps. I mean, I feel like I'm doing everything I possibly can to help this labour, so I better have a smooth one now or I will be gutted. But in other news, I'm really glad that we went for the monitoring yesterday, because baby's movements all day yesterday were just a bit off. I had, I think, 2 intervals of 15-minute phases where baby went really low and really painful and movie again, and then after that, nothing. Normally when I get into bed, that's when she just springs to life, and I find it quite difficult to settle her at night. Didn't feel anything from her. So I would have been quite nervous had I not had the monitoring and they told me everything was okay. I felt her a little bit again this morning, but admittedly not a lot. So we've got our scan in a couple of hours, so I think that'll just give me a bit of peace of mind. It's all good having the monitoring, but I want to know that she's in a good position, the cord isn't tangled anywhere or whatever, so hopefully all is okay. In typical fashion, you go to the hospital for reducer movements and she just goes explosive.
Yeah, she was struggling to get the measurements because she was moving so much.
She was like, I can't cope with this child. I was like, try having her in your belly. Mason was like, look at your belly. I couldn't see because I was looking up at the thing, and as soon as I looked down, my belly was like this.
A waterbed.
And she couldn't quite find her head because her head was so low, so she struggled to get the head measurement. But they've said all of the measurements are looking good. She's now weighing 6 pounds.
3?
Her femurs are now 6 centimetres long. The blood flow, the amniotic fluid levels are all okay, but they've asked me now to stay in so they can put me on a longer monitor. When I've been in for baby's movements previously, I've only been on for half an hour, whereas this one I think they keep you on for an hour plus, so they just want to check baby's routine movements.
I don't personally think there's anything wrong.
No.
I think it's just a different pattern.
Yeah.
Maybe like she's got a more consistent sleeping schedule. I don't know.
Yeah. So Mason's gonna head back to work and then pick me up later, because I don't know how long I'll be. It could be hours.
Instead it's going to be at least an hour wait,
An hour,
and then
yeah.
the extended monitor might be an hour.
Hopefully all is fine, but if she's looking good on the scan, then that's good. We just need to figure out why her movements have gone a bit.
There's no genuine concern. It's literally almost like a technicality.
Should be fine.
Should be fine. I'm not worried.
Haven't felt baby at all since being hooked up. She's gone very, very still again, considering she was crazy active during the ultrasound. Just got back from the hospital. It is nearly 5:45. I'm exhausted. As soon as I went on the monitor, baby went completely still again. I think they kept me on it for about an hour, and in that time I probably felt the movements 5 times. But they said everything looked healthy on the monitor. It looked like she was having a sleep window, and because she said the lines of the heartbeat were quite close together, so she went and got me some icy water halfway through to try and wake the baby up, and I felt just like a couple of movements after that. But she said we can see there where she's awake because the lines go more like this as opposed to just kind of like this, and where there was movement you could see again where the heartbeat echoed the movement. So she said everything looks very, very healthy, but she said I've booked you in for 3 more appointments because obviously this is abnormal for you and we want to make sure that it is just a change in baby's routine and it's not something more significant. So they've booked me in for a week's time for another monitor, another week after that for another monitor, and in between then they've booked me in for another growth scan where they will also check my placenta and blood flow to the baby and amniotic fluid and everything like that. And then I'll have a meeting with the doctor to discuss if I'm happy still with baby's pattern or if I have any concerns. She said because I was planning on having a home birth, we really recommend that you get induced from 39 weeks because babies that show reduced movements this later on can be at more risk of other problems. Now I don't want to have an induction. I want to have a very, very natural kind of labour. She said you can turn down the induction, which I plan to do. And because as well, every single result that we've had has all shown that baby is perfectly healthy, but it's reassuring that they have made so many appointments to keep checking. But she said if I do notice any more changes in her movement, to phone triage straight away and not wait for the next scan so they can try and detect why it's abnormal in that moment. I also forgot to mention about the lump that I get. So I asked the sonographer when I went in for my scan, and she said if it is a hernia or something else, she said it'll be harder to detect at the moment given your stage in pregnancy. She said this would be something that post-birth you would need to talk to your GP about. And when she was scanning me, nothing came up that triggered her to say, oh, I found something. So my presumption is that it's just baby. So I'll just keep an eye on it and make sure I'm not doing anything too strenuous that if it is an ab problem, I'm not causing more damage. Who knows? When we got home from the hospital, she was really quiet, and now she's gone really painful again. She's sticking herself out so far. Oh, it's down here where the pain is, and it hurts. She's kicking me over here, and then sticking her back out here. It hurts so much when she goes low especially, but the pressure on my skin when she pushes outwards is horrible. I just did the food shop. I was only in just a little bit of pain, but I did it. I feel exhausted though. So tired. Baby was very active last night. But she's moving. Woo. Oh gosh, she's kicking so low. It's about 1:30 a.m. Baby's gone really active and really painful again. Oh, and I can't sell her. It's the pain I can't deal with. You'd be hurting me today, Missy. So I'm having another Braxton Hicks contraction, and I just want to show you my belly from the side. Like, this is just normal, and then this is
my uterus and it is solid and comes completely out, like tense cramp, and it hurts. It's so weird. They're getting less frequent now. I sort of went through a stage a couple of weeks ago where they were so frequent. I was getting like 30 a day, but they're coming down now. But I've been relaxing a lot more, so maybe that's been helping my sensitive uterus.
So this is the problem. This is the concrete line. This is the steel line, which we can all see.
I've just used my Aniball again. I think this is like the 4th day now of using it. This time I really struggled because baby went incredibly active again. She's been really nice today. She's been calm, but I think the Aniball unsettled her a lot. I don't know if it's the extra pressure, but she kicked off big time and it went extremely painful. I probably worked through it for about half an hour, and then after I got the ball out, she stayed really painful. And now she keeps dropping really low again, and it hurts a lot. I've been so good with handling everything the past few days, and it's been such a weight off my shoulders to feel like I'm doing a good job. But as soon as the pain comes back, it just absolutely knocks me off my feet again. So done.
So just had my midwife appointment. The midwife actually came to our house again this time, which is nice because then I don't have to get dressed. Baby feels totally fine. She was active the whole time she was here. She said she is very head down. But at the moment she's back to back again. And I said, yeah, I can feel every little limb. But I said she spins all the time. She's given me a colostrum harvesting pack. Now I mentioned to her, I was like, I'm a little bit nervous about using it because I haven't had any leakage or anything like that at all. And she said, don't worry, it takes a while for it to come through for your first time. If you don't get anything, you don't get anything. It's not overly important. So we'll give it a go later, maybe once I've had a bath or something and I've relaxed and warmed up and got the blood flowing to my skin and stuff. An update on the pool. She said she's going to go back to the hospital now and find out how many pools they've got that are ready to go out, because she said there's a couple of ladies before me on the waiting list. All in all, a pretty uneventful midwife appointment really. Everything just went really smoothly. Oh, one thing I have noticed the past few days, I don't know if this is a hormonal thing, but my lord am I sweating. I stink of BO so bad. I will shower and an hour later I stink of BO already, and it's so horrible. It must be a hormonal thing. It's November. It's not exactly like it's hot.
She is going nuts this evening. She just can't get comfortable. Oh, thought I'd give my birth ball a go. She's starting to hurt me. She's just not stopping. Cut me some slack, please. She's hurting. Oh. Oh.
I feel exhausted this morning. I have no energy at all. Your baby was going really ballistic again last night, so I don't know if she's just drained my energy. And my belly is really sore to touch. It's really tender, and it's also just hurting inside like I've got a really bad tummy ache. Last night we tried colostrum harvesting and it was a big fail. The little pamphlet that came with the kit said to massage the breast for like 2 to 3 minutes and that should stimulate production. But I was there for like half an hour, nothing. Got Mason to try, still nothing. And I'm like, what if I can't breastfeed? I just feel done for. I am really struggling today. Baby went exceptionally painful before, when I was on the floor just crying. Mason was round my back like trying to hold my belly. But I was there for maybe about 20 minutes and I couldn't even move my core to sit up. It was just in agony. And eventually the pain eased enough for me to just stand up. And I walked slowly around the living room. And then my mum was like, well, why don't we go for a walk around town? I was like, okay, I'll just walk really slow. And as soon... As soon as I got to town, I was in agony again. I was trying to walk and I'd have to stop and breathe. And then I'd be able to walk and then I'd have to stop and breathe. And it's getting extremely painful. So I'm going to make a note of the times. Just in case they are contractions. I gotta hope that they aren't because I don't have my birth pool yet. Oh God. Can't move. I just can't move. My Lord, I am struggling. Had a hot bath and I've just been lying down for about an hour, but I just had another big bout of pain where I can't even speak. I feel like I can't even breathe. I'm literally just like... So I keep logging them on this contraction tracker app. I think it's just baby's movements. I don't think they're contractions, but I'm just gonna see where I end up after tonight. We phoned the hospital. There's a wait for the pools. There's 3 women in line before me, so it could be days, it could be weeks. So I'm gonna phone a doula that I know who has pools to hire, and we're gonna hire one of hers, hopefully, just in case. But this pain is the worst it's been. I said to my mum, I was like, I'm sure their baby's movements are not contractions because I see everywhere that you get back pain in labour. And she said, well, I didn't get back pain in labour. I just got what felt like unbearable period cramps and pain very low down. I was like, that's exactly what I'm getting. My mum said it could be slow labour. I don't know, so I'm just going to keep an eye on it. I tried doing my colostrum harvesting again before, nothing. So I'm just feeling a little bit emotional tonight. I just feel very weak and like I'm not doing a good job managing things. Oh God, this pain. Oh, I know I said I wanted baby to come early, but I don't think I'm prepared for the pain. I just messaged the doula and she says she had one, so she said you can pick it up tonight or tomorrow. But it's quite late tonight already and we couldn't use it tonight anyway because it doesn't have a liner. We need to order a new liner to go in it because that's got to be fresh. So we've just ordered a liner next day delivery. And now, so...
Satisfy a lot of our lightweight furniture needs. That's really good.
That's just nuts. So the pain got really intense. I've had some paracetamol. I've bounced on my birthing ball for God knows how long, and it's eased enough for me to just exist. So we're gonna take my mind off it, and we've decided we're gonna paint this big canvas to go up in the dining room. And hopefully that'll keep my brain occupied and give me some oxytocin. Okay, so last night the painting definitely helped as a distraction. We didn't do much, we only did a little bit, maybe half an hour. But the pain still kept coming and going. It became longer intervals in between the bursts of pain, so it did become more manageable. I slept okay. I managed to eventually nod off at about 2:30, and then I woke up again at 6 and was in agony trying to move to get to the toilet. I didn't think I was going to be able to walk back to the bedroom. The pressure in my tummy was really painful. But then I got back to sleep, maybe after about an hour of lying there, and then probably slept between 7:30 and 9. My belly feels okay now that I've woke up. I haven't had any pain yet, and if I start to get the pain again, then I'm gonna call the midwife, I think, and just see if they're able to come, because I don't want to go into hospital if I want to do a home birth, in case they keep me in. I'll figure it out. It's like midday now. I feel totally fine. I've had no pain. I'm moving fine. I mean, I'm trying to keep active today, and I think that's helping. Mason suggested we go out for lunch. I said I don't want to go far because if anything does happen, you know, so there's a little place that's like 2 minutes from our house. So we're gonna go there for lunch, get a change of scenery. But yeah, really odd to have been in such excessive pain yesterday and then be okay today. But at least we're getting the birth pool this afternoon, so I can put my mind at ease. So it's now 2 p.m. We went out for lunch. I was still pain-free, but about half an hour into being out, my vision started to go really weird. Like I was getting a migraine, and it got worse and worse, and I ended up having like just fuzziness everywhere. I couldn't see. So we've come home and I've just put myself in a dark room. I've put myself in the nursery. I've got a very, very mild headache, but I feel fine. My vision's gone back to normal, which is good. I phoned triage. They said it could just be a hormonal thing. Mason picked up the birth pool, so we're gonna check that it all works, okay?
It was quick, wasn't it?
It's so high. Skip it if I can lift my leg that high. Woo!
Pretty cool.
You're gonna have to help me out though. Thank you. So that's very quick to put up.
Yeah, that
Sounds
was when
really
we
good
didn't know
to
what we
know.
were doing as well.
It's now 8:30. Still, touch wood, haven't had much pain today. I got a little bit earlier. I went to the toilet, and as I've mentioned in my previous videos, going to the toilet sets off my uterus cramps, and that's exactly what happened, and it hurt a lot and started to trigger the pain again, and the cramps kept coming and going and coming and going for a while, but it was manageable, so that's good. Just have to see what happens tomorrow. So confusing morning at the hospital. When I went in for my monitoring, I said, oh, I've got my monitoring straps with me because you have to reuse the same straps if you've been before. And she said, we don't need the straps, this is a scan. I was like, okay, interesting. So I had a scan. Couldn't really see much on the scan. She was kind of checking blood flow, oxygen levels and fluid levels, so that's all I kind of saw. And she said, okay, go back to the waiting room, wait to be called in for your results. Scan was fine, everything's fine. So I said, okay, do I go for my monitoring now? And she said, no, unless you've been told otherwise. And I said, well, the appointment was booked for monitoring. She said, I can check the baby's heartbeat now with you if you want on a Doppler. And I said, fine. I just thought this appointment was for monitoring because I've got my scan booked in on Monday. And she said, we've just been told you're having a scan. So then I said, well, do I still need to come on the Monday for my scan? And she said, well, no, if you've had a scan today, you shouldn't need another scan. So they then cancelled my next appointment, but the appointment that they cancelled was my monitoring, not my scan. So I really don't know what on earth is going on. Anyway, everything was showing completely fine. Haven't had any more pain. So I mentioned this when I had the follow-up after my scan today and said, I don't know if I'm in slow labour or what. And she said, first labours can be very stop-start, stop-start. As soon as you start getting regular contractions, then call us. But just keep an eye on it other than that. And hopefully we have another smooth day today. Our pool liner has just arrived. So if anything does happen today, then we are now safe to have our home birth. Whoop whoop. I also still reek of BO. My skin's also really dry, like I'm flaking everywhere. My hair's gone really dry, so I must just be in like a whole new hormone period. Get this baby out of me. I've been pretty pain-free past couple of days. Yesterday after the hospital I was okay, but then by evening baby perked back up again and got really active and really painful and started triggering those cramps again. And I kept waking up throughout the night in pain, but then today so far I've been okay again. So who knows? Crazy ladies all over my belly. Oh my goodness. Ah! Oh. Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. Ah!
What are you doing?
I'm struggling with her again today. We just went for a walk around this afternoon to get out of the house and keep active. I'm really determined to keep active, but I must walk slower than an OAP on a Zimmer frame now. I walk so slow because baby is so low and just hurts and presses on everything. She's completely back to her normal self now, and she's just wriggling all the time, all day long. We've decided we're putting the tree up early because we don't know when baby might come. We might be too exhausted, we might be in labour on the 1st of December. So we are treeing tonight.
It's a bit early, but...
It's a bit early, but it's perfect
it's
timing.
okay.
I keep getting mild period cramps, and I don't know if it's a sign of something. They're very, very bearable. They're just a bit uncomfortable. So my Braxton Hicks / period cramps are coming every 20 minutes and they're lasting kind of between 30 seconds and a minute and a half. And they're not unbearably painful at the moment. Nothing like the pain I had the other day. They're just like period cramps. So it could be something, could not be something. Let's see. So I kept getting the period crampy things all evening until around 11 o'clock. They were really regular, like every 15-20 minutes, and then they stopped. It's now about midnight and I haven't had one since, so I just want things to progress and hot.
Come on, little madam. Where are you? I just got back from my yoga class and it's snowing. Maybe baby can be born on a snow day. I feel like I'm too excited and I feel like I will halt the labour by being too excited.
So I found my yoga class actually really helpful this evening. I find it helpful every week, but this week for me personally it was really reassuring because not only do we do yoga in the class, we also spend the first part of the session discussing what other people are going through that week and things like that, and that's always really nice because you find relatable voices in the group. But tonight I mentioned about how I got a lot of pain and then it's dropped off and now I keep getting period cramps, and a couple of the ladies there said that they had similar experiences with their first children as well. So one lady said that she just got like period pain and it was only kind of near to the end that she realised she was in labour. Another lady just said she just felt an urge to push, and when she got to the hospital they dismissed it because they didn't think she was in labour, and when she got checked she was 8 centimetres dilated. So now I feel a bit less crazy, and it's nice to hear other stories as opposed to the standard you get contractions, you have your baby at this point this happens, but all births are different, and it was really nice to talk through that this evening with other people who've been there. I feel more comforted by the fact that I'm just getting period pain rather than like, why aren't I suddenly getting any contractions anymore? But then on the same hand, I also feel like less need to actively look for that pain. Like I think any little twinge, I'm like, could this be it? Could this be it? But knowing that things happened, even kind of without those ladies knowing, I just feel like, okay, I'm just gonna relax, let my body do its thing. I think you can become a bit too excited looking for something to happen.